When I first moved to the States, it felt like nothing could go wrong. I had everything I needed to succeed, but in life, nothing goes perfectly the way you want it to. At my first visa appointment a couple years ago, my visa got denied. Not for any particular reason, but I speculate they just needed to do a background check on who I was, where I was going, and if I could afford my college, understandably so. But because of that, I ended up missing a whole semester of my college years. In any case, I ended up getting to the States and everything ended up going fine, but that's a story for another time. So, there are a couple things that I need before the interview is actually set in stone or booked. And in this episode, I'll be talking about the first steps and kind of walking you through how I do it. It's not a tutorial per se, it's more of a follow along, kind of like you guys watching me doing it. Starting, I need to apply to a US college, which I already did. They will send me an acceptance letter and an I-20, which is a US Department of Homeland Security document issued by the SCVP certified schools. It's for all F, J, and M student visa types. It also comes with your SEVIS number, which is a unique identifier that is assigned by the government. It's a certificate of eligibility for non-immigrant student. Now, keep in mind that this is only applicable to student visas, so F1 and M1, and maybe J1 as well. For my particular situation, I applied to Ivy Tech Community College, which is still in the area of Goshen, where my friends are and my stuff. Things were kind of complicated at the beginning because of how many branches they have in Indiana. Anyway, I got that sorted out with my enrollment specialist and started progressing smoothly. Set up my classes. Oh, I'm also an IT major, by the way. Since things have been progressing slowly, I've had a lot of free time to work on other aspects of my life, such as my physical health. I started doing calisthenics in due part to my shoulder surgery last year. Not being able to hop back into parkour and jiu-jitsu normally has affected me in a lot of ways. To work on my mental state, I've started reading more books, as I've been told nothing can go wrong with reading more books. I am currently reading The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen R. Covey. A fun activity I've started in order to regain my shoulder strength is through boxing. I am now on my way to gain what we call shoulder boulders. For my spiritual health, I've been diving into the book of Colossians, which talks about the effects of Christ in our lives and how losing him means losing everything. I also went on a youth retreat whose main focus was getting to know Christ and being radical for him. I would say that my faith has many ups and downs, but I'm slowly learning to trust in God more. I also started dipping my toes into street photography, which is essentially taking pictures of people, things, and places without being seen. I also make a bit of money through photo shoots, weddings, portraits, and for anyone who wants a good Instagram shots. Here are some of my favorites so far. If you want to see more, link to my Instagram playbill in the description below. Alright, so now I'm about to prepare to have my Zoom meeting with my enrollment specialist. And then I will have to finalize my form for the US Embassy as well. Send that in, get that started, and then I will have to pay a $160 fee for the interview, kind of like booking in my spot. And then within 2 weeks, I should have a response on whether or not I can have the interview or not. But that's for another video. All right, it's about time for my meeting. I'm just doodling, waiting for Rebecca Lindstorm. Meeting with her, just waiting for her to get onto the Zoom.
Well, I just got off a call with my enrollment specialist, and she's helped me figure out a lot of things I need to do to schedule the classes. But at least I got 2 classes in, math classes, which I suck at, and another pre-requirement for my course that I need to take. Anyway, now that that's figured out, I need to go ahead and contact my old college, my ex-college, about the credits that I need to be able to continue my stay at Goshen, to be able to continue to study as much as possible. So that is my next order of business, and then finish this interview question for the embassy, and then we'll be good to go. So I'm gonna do that now. Yep. All right, so to apply for a US visa interview, you need to head over to the travel.state.gov website, which is the US Department of State Bureau and Consulate Affairs. So once you're on the website, you want to click on US visas, and then here you're going to scroll all the way down till you see travel to the United States or forms and fees. If this is your first time, then I suggest that you go through student exchange to kind of read the different types of visas that you can get. But since I know what I want and I've already done this before, I'm just going to go ahead and click on the forms and fees DS-160 online non-immigrant visa application. So once I'm here, like I said, you can read this information. It's important to know. If you don't know it, go straight to the Access Online DS-160, and this is going to send you to the actual application form. So once you're here, there's a couple of things that you're going to need. You're going to need your passport. You're going to need a photo, like a passport photo. You will have a section where you can import your passport photo so that you can use it on your document to identify you, and they're very picky on their dimensions. So you start by selecting the area in which you are applying for the visa. For me, that would be Senegal. Here you see the visa application will ask you to upload a digital photo of yourself. I would do this first because, trust me, you think that you have the right you think you have the right dimensions for the photo, but you don't. Trust me, their photo cropping tool doesn't actually work at this moment. Like the moment of publishing this video, it doesn't work. So if that doesn't work, you can go ahead and click on digital image submission requirements, and it will give you the numbers and dimensions that you can either compress it to or crop it down to. So once you know that your photo works, you can go ahead and continue the application process. So I already started my application. I'm not gonna show it to you because that is personal information, and you shouldn't show it to anybody else because it's personal information. So once you are done with the initial phase of starting the application process, it's going to give you an application ID so that whenever you want, you can save your application and come back and do it later. Remember, you need to save that ID because if you don't have it, you can't get it back, and there's no like email retrieval way of getting that ID back. So what I did was I simply just took a photo or a screenshot of it. All right, so after a bit of time, when you're done with the whole process and you double checked and redouble checked that all the information is as it's supposed to be, you can go ahead and complete the DS-160. I like to do a thing where I send the confirmation packet to my email address, or you can go ahead and print it straight off. So I hope that was an informative sort of spiel. There's definitely a little bit more that goes into it. You need like references in your country. You need your document papers from the school and yourself. There's also going to be more stuff you're going to need for the actual interview itself. So if it's more confusing and you need more clarification, you can just go ahead and type in the comment section, and I'd be happy to answer your questions if you have any at all. But that is going to do it for this episode of The State in My Life. I really hope you enjoyed it as much as I did making it. It was really fun, and I hope it was informative to some degree. Remember, this is not a tutorial, it's more of a follow along. So if I didn't explain anything, I'm sorry, but I really did hope you enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on episode 2. Peace.